Fun fact number 111. I want to talk about more deep thoughts, my 2 cents, one of those. Um, if I say fun fact, just kind of assume it can be anything that you could possibly talk about. It may not be something fun, it may not be factual, it may just be my opinion. But what do you believe? And see, I have an idea, and I've had it all my life, that your world is built of the things that you believe in, not the things you don't believe in. And just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean it's not true. It just means it's not part of your world. And it doesn't affect your world. So why attack people that believe in something you don't believe in? It's part of their world, But as long as it's not hurting anybody and it's not hurting them, then, as long as their belief isn't that everybody who's not them deserves to die, I think that's a terrible belief. But that would be hurting somebody else. And if they think they don't deserve to live, if that's part of their belief system, I think that's something that they need to be dissuaded from. Both of those instances. But like I said, if it's not hurting anybody, it's not affecting anybody else's freedoms, and it's not hurting anybody, and it's not hurting themselves, then let it go. Let those people have the beliefs in their world and let them have the actualizations. That's part of my thing. But also, how does what you believe create magic in your life? I believe in magic and science, miracles in science, whatever the way you want to put it. I've seen too many things that defy scientific explanation. So, but I think if you combine magic in science, you get a lot more answers that are a lot more real. And I like that. But what creates magic in your belief system? What do you believe that creates magic in your life? If you do not have magic in your life, then maybe you should change your belief system. Because I can't imagine. And if you don't have science in your life, maybe you should kind of change your belief system. You know me, balance, balance, balance. And I think magic and science balance each other and add to each other and make something better. So if you don't have magic in your life, in your belief system and in your world, why would you want to live in that world? So then you can do a paradigm shift. But those are hard because you have to have support from a lot of people to where your belief system or your view of the world goes. I remember learning about paradigm shifts in college, interpersonal communication class, and the two-chair method and things like that. It's a really good class. Fair, Care, Aware kind of came from there. A lot of other things, but paradigm shifts, like if you're an alcoholic and you try not to be an alcoholic, you have to shift your paradigm. And if you're going to non-alcoholic, you can't hang around alcoholics, and you need people to support you who don't drink so you can reach that platform where you don't feel like you need to drink anymore. That's how you do a paradigm shift. But it's a shift in the way your world, the world that you live in. And there's a lot of different ways to believe and look at the world. But if you want to be part of the world, you might want to think about seeing the reality of the world. But and then I sit there and I talk about magic. But I was talking about beliefs too, because people think I do have a Lutheran Christian background, and kind of the more fun Lutherans, and I'm not the ones that tell you have to witness all the time. And to me, I witness, but I witness when it's natural. I don't force it. I don't have like a quota, and I don't think about it. It's just more me talking, which is kind of natural. And in certain situations, if people bring it up and they want to talk about it, I talk about it. But my belief system, I used to always say, people say, when I was young, I was raised Lutheran Christian. My mom had been Catholic. There were other religions that I was exposed to or got to experience somewhat. A lot of different religions, some of them probably nobody's heard of. I There was one that was very logical about their prophets, and everybody's a prophet. I mean, the great spiritual leaders throughout history were prophets, even Jesus, and that was their idea, and it made logical sense. But kind of their approach to things to me was very narrow. So I liked the logic, but the narrowness of their belief system, it wasn't all inclusive. So that kind of turned me off. Christianity can turn me off, but I've met a lot of Christians that aren't Christian, not really, and I've met a lot of true, kind Christian people who that's who they are, and they're not trying to get into heaven. They're not trying to do anything. They really listen to the words of the Son of God, or if you believe that or not, and and they really listen to those words and really try to live their life walking in those shoes. And I think that's exemplary. Um, Other people I think are still learning, but I've always said I'm more spiritual than I am religious. I don't really fit into any particular religion. I don't think people used to ask me what my religion was, and I would say Teresa religion because it was everything I believed and things that I just knew and felt in my heart were right and real. Um, I think I read Infinite in All Directions by Freeman Dyson, and that was a very pivotal book for me because he talked about gods and superstrings and how science and religion, or science and spirituality, used to be one until the Catholic Church separated itself from science, which was stupid. So it's a really, really good book, and if you have time and um, are interested in science and spirituality and other things, in history, Infinite in All Directions is a really good book. Um, but he talks about belief in that as well. And right now, I think I have a little Christianity, a little Buddhism, a little Hinduism. I mean, Judaism kind of comes in with Christianity, doesn't it? Muslim, I have a hard time with because a lot of the Muslim belief systems, women are second class citizens and shouldn't show their faces at all or their ankles, and that's really hard for me. I don't think I could. It makes an inequality there, and it makes it basically men can't control their penises, and so the women in those religions have to cover things up, and they're more property. And I'm really tired of women being property, so I'd like to get over that. Um, but yeah, I've experienced a lot of religions and I have a lot of belief systems, but I realize like a lot of it came from somebody told me I was writing Taoist stuff, and I've never read the Tao. So there's things that come naturally to me in my belief system that I just see and know and feel and know, and it's what I believe. And I think paganism has a lot to be said for it with the natural world and the turning of the seasons. So, and a lot of your Christian traditions come from that. So, for Christmas time, I like some of the lessons that are taught in a lot of the different religions, and some of them are a lot of the same right now. I'd say if I had a spiritual path, I mean, I found a church that was, it's not a church, but it's a church, and it's a little bit better than a lot of the places, but it's still kind of um, limited. But I enjoy going there sometimes. But for the most part, it's every day. You walk the walk, you talk the talk. So that's kind of my belief system if you wanted to know. And I hope you're enjoying the season of whatever you believe in. And if your belief is harmful to somebody else, or demeans somebody else, or demeans yourself, or harms yourself, I hope you change your belief system. And that's what I believe. That's deep thought, fun fact, My 2 cents, 111. Ciao, Bellas.